All right, we are getting started. And action. No, so what we're going to do is we're going to watch the my first ever short film, Man in the Woods. You'll see why I put quotations there. And we're going to talk about it, see what we did well, see what we did not so well. So here we go. And this opening part is just a still picture, by the way. I found a... So one of the first things that I don't like, that I think a lot of people won't even realize is going on, I had to mask. I put a mask around like that back window section. It was way too bright. I was way too impatient to start recording. So you can see the varying degrees of light in the outside window. That's something that people had mentioned when I was doing this. But I did a mask around that back window. I tried to do a mask and blur the big sliding glass window. The sliding glass window that the squirrels like to play at, that my dogs wanted to run and be buttholes about. But I actually put a mask on that back window, on both of them. And so I tried to keep a mask around my face, but you can see parts around my nose and in my mouth where the mask kind of covers it up and it looks a little goofy. And I don't mind the fact that it's a little out of focus on this one. I mean, you can see that the coffee table is really in focus, but nothing else. I mean, maybe even the coffee table's not that great. But I think it's all right for the opening scene. We're going to keep going. The fire was a lot nicer in this opening scene than it was on the next two. See like that? See how it's a lot smaller? And the light on the trees makes no absolute sense. But I would also like to point out that this is all done so far. Up until this point, all the audio has been done using motion array. It's all been... I was looking at the microphone like it's the camera. All this has been done using motion array. I kind of forgot you were over there. All the audio, 99% of it has been done using motion array, so it was pre-recorded songs and sound effects and that sort of stuff. There is some Foley that I did in here, some sound design with, page turn and coffee mug hitting the... Coffee mug hitting the table and everything. I thought there was something in it. There's not. There's nothing in it. Delicious. But yeah, all the sounds you hear, the fire crackling, the music, even the vinyl noise is its own vinyl noise that I placed on top of the song to try to make it sound like a record. So there was a lot of, if you ever saw if you get a chance to, I might screenshot it and post it. But there's a lot of levels, there's a lot of tiers to the audio on this one. So, and this book, I thought it was kind of funny. What is it? The alphabet of manliness. I thought it was a fun one. But I did hear that I might run into copyright issues. But I'm not making money. This was just for fun. This is just art. This is free promotion. So hopefully the author's not too mad at me. It's a fun book. I haven't read it. All right, we're going to keep going. It says everything seems so grainy. Oh, and this part, you can see a little blip I did. So if you don't know, I played every part in this, including the bad guy. But because I was being impatient in this scene too, where it's a little bit closer of that opening scene, I did another mask because I was impatient and I was filming during the day. I did another mask, or I should say early evening. I did another mask around the window for a later time. And I had to be the one to set the motion sensor off. That's just what my light does, by the way. I didn't create the strobe. It just was a fortunate thing that happened to be going on for quite a while now. I rent. It's not. I don't have to fix it. But I had to be outside. I'm doing all this by myself, so I had to be outside to set the motion sensor off. And I can't be inside reading a book and outside to set the motion sensor off. And of course, I was too impatient when I was filming. And so this is actually a masked, sliding glass door on top of another video. And so this was filmed at two different times. And you could see around the pages of the book, it took forever, by the way. I've never done masking and tracking to this extent. You could even see around the book pages where the mask gets a little, it's artificial. You can tell there's some parts that don't line up. And there's even a little blip. We'll see if we can see it, and I'll put it in post. I'll slow it down and all that sort of stuff. But you could see right above the door frame. Originally, I was trying to mask out every little part, but I'm not that good at it yet, and I made some mistakes. And so, long story short, you see a little blip on the top of, or a little part where the mask comes down a little bit at the top of the sliding glass door at one part. So that it do be happening like that sometimes. But overall, not bad. This is the part that took the absolute longest, was this mask around the book, around the coffee mug. You can even see that the coffee mug was in the second video, the video that is being masked over, I guess you could say. And so you remove the coffee mug and the mask goes with it, but then you see a very blurred out, uncolorized, because I wanted to make it look natural, so I couldn't have the background be cleaner than the foreground. And so you could see a blurred out version of the same coffee mug. So it's like it moves out of the way, a little blurred version of the coffee mug that's still there, and then when you put the coffee mug back, that other coffee mug disappears. But it's not perfect, but I was a little impatient trying to get it done before Halloween. We'll keep going. What was that? And my timing on some of those, I wish I would have gotten myself actually putting the book down. I wish I would have Foleyed this scene with a better microphone. I actually did it with this microphone. This is my microphone that I bought specifically for podcasting, which will be coming up. Me and my buddy, we have a lot of good conversations. It's not what this video is for. Shh. I filmed it using this microphone purely out of laziness and excitement to get the video done. And so I do wish I would have used my little shotgun microphone or literally anything else that would have had a better sound to it. I've got a little mini cheap. I don't even know. It's not a name brand. It's the brand has a name. It's just not a name brand. And I don't know what it is, but it does sound pretty good for a little $50 microphone. Better than what would have been with this, so that you can hear the sound of the footsteps and that sort of stuff. It's kind of thin. It's just a thin sound. It's not but you live and you learn. So we'll keep going. This tree also, the tree in the foreground, that's way clearer than every other focus. And I'm glad it worked out that way, because this is also two videos laid on top of one another. And because I really wanted that tree in there. I was so scared. I brought my dog Django out, and you're gonna see him if you look hard. You're gonna see him in some of the scenes, because I was probably this one. I think he's actually in this. We're gonna back up and see it, but I was scared. I tried to have the dogs up for sake of ease. I didn't want them knocking the camera over or anything, but so I backed up to the part where I'm going to the video, looking out the window. Yeah, you can see his tail. You can see Django's tail right by my left hand, or as you're looking at it, my right hand. You saw his tail flicker for just a little bit, and the video is cropped in, so you can't really see him, but you still get a little flicker of the tail. Killer! This is my biggest disappointment, is the when the killer shows up. And now keep in mind, this is still me. This is just me. I'm in the killer costume with that I made that mask, by the way. My boss, he was going to have he did. He had a Halloween party. And that's what this video is too. It's a way of me being able to try to get over my fears of sharing my shit and people, talking about how much they suck. I'm gonna beat you to the punch. Wow. I'm gonna try to add some video effects. Wow. Wow. I don't know what that is. But so I'm gonna make fun of it first. But I was really disappointed. I wanted it to be a very impactful moment. I wanted it to go from calm, because what happens is you'll get with a lot of short films or thrillers or even horror style films, you'll get calm relaxation with a little bit of suspense, and the suspense builds, and then nothing, and then suspense builds, and then nothing. I don't have that kind of time. It's a short film, so I wanted to go from calm, warm, comfortable, a little bit of what's going on, the lights flashing, straight to boom, there he is, right in your face. Because how long is this video? It's 2 minutes and 17 seconds, so I wanted to make sure it went quick, but I wanted to make sure it didn't feel overly quick. I wanted it to be a fast change, but in an impactful way. So I wanted to have the really heavy blah sound to it. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is I couldn't get. I wanted the volume to be really high. I wanted it to be a startling part. I wanted it to catch you off guard. However, the again, all the audio and sound effects, 90% of it, 99% of it came from Motion Array. It's all stuff that I used, unlicensed music and sound effects. And so, unfortunately, as I'm trying to turn it up to get a really heavy, impactful, just startle moment, huge impact, it gets very, it's a little too hot on the audio, and I couldn't find a way to bring up the audio loud enough to make the impact I wanted without getting the distortion that is very clearly in it, and you can hear it more in some devices than others. So like if you're watching on a but we're gonna keep going. I tend to talk too much. This scene was actually really fucking clear. Excuse me. I'm going to try not to cuss. I'm going to work on my cussing. But this scene where it's kind of behind, over the shoulder, nothing but the legs. You see the killer's chains in the bag, trying to add a little bit more something other than just a dude standing there. You know, I wanted to have some kind of prop, something to make people wonder, like, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? But the shot, again, this is an overlay. I had to take two different videos, one of me standing there as the killer, one of me sitting there reading, being the main character. And actually in this scene as well, right behind my legs outside, you can see Django again kind of running around. You can see his goofy little legs. So that was kind of fun. He was out there making sure I wasn't getting a little too scared. But the video of me inside as the main character reading is actually super clean, super in focus, very nice, and it hurt my heart really bad because I had to blur it. I put a mask over that, and I blurred the shit out of that, and well, because I needed it to match, and I did that with a couple scenes. I had to with the color grading and sometimes with the blur. When I first started doing this, when I first started the short film, I was trying to make sure everything was perfect, everything was optimized, and I do what I do. And as time goes on, I got a little bit less patient. I procrastinated a little bit more. I was trying to rush to make sure I could get it done before the party. I didn't, by the way, and it kind of hurt my heart, but I did have to make some of the really good shots match the less good shots, and so it did have to hurt my heart to blur that portion, but I think it blends really well. I don't think anyone can tell that there's a mask there, and for my first short film, I think that's pretty cool. We're gonna keep going. I don't know why I added the crows. I just needed I needed stuff to change. I wanted to make sure something new was always kind of happening. Crows. Man, and see, that could have been so much cooler. I love the ending. The ending, it was supposed to stop there. Originally, when I was making it, I was going to stop right when right when that happens. I was going to cut it off, but I was like, you know what? It would be kind of cool. You know what I mean? I was trying to keep it interesting, and I was like, at first, I was gonna make it seem like the killer wins. I definitely wanted that explosion. You just kind of wonder, but as I was going, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be action star on this one. And so as I was filming, or I shouldn't say as I was filming, as I was editing the final bit before I did that last part, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if that explosion sounded kind of like a gunshot? And so I was like, that would be kind of cool. What if I Instead, you look at the victim, the main character, and you think, oh man, he's gonna get got. That's what's gonna happen. And so you hear the explosion, and I was hoping to create the assumption that the killer got the main character. I was hoping people would feel a sense of kind of, doom for the main character, and you get that underdog hero feel when we hit the next. See, I'm talking way too much about stuff we haven't even watched yet. But there's also something else was brought to my attention with that couple of scenes when we see the killer. I'm actually going to back up a little bit. And now keep in mind, this is the mask. That's right. I was going to tell you about the party. But yeah, it was going to be kind of a cool thing, a whole event. But we're going to go back because someone made the mention of initially when the killer happens, I break, quote unquote, break the 180-degree roll, and I do, but my intent for having the shot that I had to blur to match, I wanted it to be uncomfortable. Like the point, I wasn't thinking about the 180-degree roll. A lot of times that's between two characters who are interacting or conversing, talking, so that way you can keep track of it, so it looks more natural. But this, I didn't care. I didn't want it to look natural. I wanted to give the main character very little headspace. I wanted to give him very little like leading space in front of his face. I wanted to kind of go behind. This is where it was shot, behind, over the shoulder, only see the legs and the chains and everything of the killer. So it was meant to be uncomfortable. It was meant to be a improper shot for a reason, but apparently that reason did not come off as nicely as it should have. Maybe I could have cut my face out of it a little bit more or zoomed in a little bit harder. I don't know what I could have done, but we're gonna hit the drawing board. So next fall, when I make another one of these, it'll be pretty cool. But yeah, we'll keep going. Overall, really, really well done. I think I had a lot of fun doing this. I do seeing it on the big screen. Really enjoy it for a first film. I'm proud of it. I think it's pretty cool. I also think it worked out. Man in the Woods. I also think it worked out pretty cool because as the video went on, the quality of the imagery got a little crappier, and then at the very end it gets better. Not much better. Still soft focus. That's a BB gun, by the way. That is a BB gun in that film, just so I don't get in trouble. But again, the shotgun sound, the shuk shuk, that was from Motion Array. Also, that explosion sound was the same explosion. It's literally an explosion sound. It's not supposed to be a gun sound, but because it sounded so much like a firearm, I was like, okay, that's what gave me the idea for the final ending. And now that it's kind of trailerized, I almost want. Now that it's kind of trailerized. Now that it's kind of trailerized, I want to refilm it, but as a longer short film, if that kind of makes sense. So hopefully next fall, I'm going to keep the killer mask. And of course, I made it. I worked hard. I love that thing. Um, but I'm going to keep the killer mask, and hopefully next year, sometime in the future, I'm going to recreate it as a longer movie. And I'm going to a longer film, longer production, whatever you want to call it, movie, whatever. But I want to recreate it in the future in a much higher. For the sake of the 2 minutes, I'm just going to watch it. This isn't going to be. I know I've been talking for about 24 minutes now. It's all going to get cut out anyway. But I'm just going to watch it from start to finish and see how I like it. All right, overall lighting pretty good. I tried to put a lot of effort into the lighting. Got that mask around the face. You can see. Oh my gosh! I forgot. At the very beginning, at the first opening scene, you're setting the scene. I wanted to make sure that all the other little pieces are in the frame. By little pieces, I mean I wanted to make sure the clock, the fireplace, the book, all of it could be visible, which is why I start off so wide. I didn't really want to have all the stuff above the fireplace, and I didn't think it matched the aesthetic of the rest of the scene. Um, but I figured it was worth it to have the clock, the fireplace, and the book all in one scene because that's what you're gonna see next. You're gonna get that zoom up of the clock. You're gonna get the zoom up of the fireplace. But in this specific scene, you can see I used a ring light to help illuminate the background. I wanted the wall with the small little plant and everything. I wanted that to be illuminated as well. So part of my light work or my light setup to make everything else look good screwed up because now you can see the reflection of the ring light in the sliding glass door, and I couldn't find a way. I meant to go back and try to really blur it, color change, blur color, to try to get it out completely. But at the end of the day, I was running short on time, running a little short on motivation. I was like, yeah, all the other shit that's wrong with it, who cares, you know? So I can't believe I forgot that. But yeah, you still got the mask in front of the face, the dark shadows. I went and bought those logs specifically for this. I have logs that I cut from trees in the backyard. I wish this was a little less grainy, a little more in focus. It was focused decently on the mug, but... You know what? I'm actually not mad about that little blip. I was too busy watching me, and I know it's there. I didn't even see the little... the mask thing where it pops down. I wish the timing was a little bit better here too on these couple of shots from where I noticed the light get up, move. Tried to make the cuts, the edits between videos, or the cuts between videos as seamless as I could. Try to make it seem like all one smooth motion. Pretty good. Pretty good. If you also notice too, that lantern wasn't there in the first opening scene, and it ended up being there afterwards. I needed it when I didn't think about it beforehand, but as I was filming, I realized I needed it. And now you can see it's back in its original spot behind me. I absolutely love the timing. If there's one thing I did well, if there is one thing that I feel like I did excruciatingly well, was the timing at the end. And I think it was like the timing of the sound at the very end, just the timing of the hits, the timing of the silence to black. That is, out of all of it, my absolute favorite a part of this whole thing. It was just it goes to black. You still hear the cicadas and the crickets in the back. All of that is fake, by the way, too. The cicadas and crickets, again, just a sound effect from Motion Array. None of this had real audio. None of this was recorded at the time of the only thing that was recorded, I lied, was the very last scene. I'm not done yet. The I'm not done yet was recorded through the camera's microphone, not the camera's microphone, but my little shotgun mic at the actual filming. But everything else was added after the fact. It was recorded after the fact. It was downloaded and taken from Motion Array after the fact. And so I got a chance to have a lot of fun with that at the very end. You know, everything cuts out. You hear the cicadas. It's still kind of a little bit boring with the timing. I knew I wanted there to be a decent amount of space in between screen going dark and then the explosion, the glass breaking. But it needed something else. It needed something because it was just it was a little boring. It needed a little extra spice, salt bay action. It needed a little extra spice, and so I was like, what else could I put? And I was looking up all sorts of like horror sound effects and stuff like that. I play a game called Dead by Daylight, and there's we call her the Crow Bitch, but I don't know what her actual name is. The Artist, her name's The Artist, and she uses crows, and it is kind of a horrifying sound. You know, it adds a little color to your fall festivities, and so I was like, we're gonna put the crows in there. I think it worked out great. The crows. Explosion. I love it. That's the one thing I think I did absolutely incredible on. I'm really happy with the timing at the end. Love it. Yep. It could have been a little sooner. I still love it. Amateur films production. The breathing is also recorded at the time. I did do a little bit of makeup and blood for that, and I am kicking myself because as I'm looking at myself in the mirror as I'm doing it, I put a lot of blood, like fake scabbing stuff and blood, and it looked really, really good. I did take a picture of myself you know what I mean, pre-recording, pre-video filming, and it looked pretty dope. I do like it. I thought it looked pretty good. The downside, though, is I wasn't thinking about how it was going to look where I was standing in the frame, that sort of stuff. And so a lot of it is on the dark side of my face. And so you can't see it. Where all of it is. But you still can't see. I put a little bit of scuff on the cheek to make it look bruised. I put a little bit in the corner of the mouth, a big portion on the head to make it look like I got hit. And so we're going to go back and see that part again. I'm going to make sure this is still recording. Perfect, it's still recording. In amateur films production. And that's why I kind of looked over so you guys could see it. I intentionally tried to get the light under the trees. Man. Man, oh man. And I definitely think I want to... I love the way it ended. I think the ending is the best part of the whole thing. And... no, yeah, I actually had a lot of fun with that. I thought it was super cool. And my YouTube channel already had... That video already has 75 views. 70 of them are me, but it's already got 75 views. And that's been on for 3 days. That's pretty dope. I'm really proud of that. And so hopefully... I really am proud of that. I think it's pretty cool. Oh, buddy. 32 minutes in. You can't wait for two. All right, we're going to get out of here. Django's got to go potty. I got to reheat up my coffee because I talk too much. I'm proud of that. I think it was a really cool project, and I'm excited to see more stuff that I make in the future. I can't wait to commentate on more stuff in the future. So, till next time. That was awkward as shit. I won't do that again.
Preview.
I think that this could be something incredible, and I'm hoping that you do too, and that you'll join me in this journey together. I never think about outros, so I'll do some stuff with it. This is cool, guys. I'm gonna let the puppies out. Yeah, let's go. And cut.